Man, not my dog Lulu, man. Not my dog Lulu. They bet not kill my dog Lulu. We'll get into it right after this.
Hard, play hard, grind hard, stay hard, no, we stay out, make your way out, but I just can't stop, won't stop hustling, but I just...
Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode 8, entitled The Cost of Business. I will say this is by far the best episode of the season. Sorry if I sound a little nasally, man. The allergies came back in full effect. I thought they was done. They came back like fucking Unique did in this episode. So, this episode, listen, everybody was wondering what was going to happen with the situation with Jukebox and Nicole. And it starts off exactly where it left off. You see Jukebox. She is fucked up by this, man. And listen, it sucked to see Jukebox like this because Jukebox is one of my favorite characters on the show. It's Jukebox, Marvin, and Unique. Those are my favorite characters on the show. And but I think everybody does a great job in their roles. But seeing her like this, and listen, man, if you don't let nobody pay their respects at a funeral, man, you ain't got no fucking soul, man. You really don't have a soul. Like, she goes in there and she tries to pay her respects. They know she was close to Nicole, and they want to be assholes. Oh, Laverne, get out of here. Oh, it's her fault. Listen, nobody told your daughter to be stealing crack from somebody's book bag, which ultimately led to her death. You know, and rest in peace, Nicole. I thought she was a great character. This is ultimately her fault, you know. Say no to drugs, kids. But they kick her out of there. Kenan's there to support her, obviously, and I'm wondering, like, I wonder at that point, did he know he was responsible for this? Because, you know, he didn't say anything about it. But after they get kicked out, he tries to console her a little bit more, and she kind of just does her dolo thing, like, yo, I got to do some shit on my own, blah, blah, blah. So they go their separate ways. We see, and that was cold, man. I just don't see how you do that to it. That was cold, man. That was cold. But we see Marvin. We actually see Rock is she's with the Hispanic lady from the store, and she's it was funny because the lady intentionally dropped some shit on dude. Had her chase her in the garage, and we see Rock. Listen, Rock was a straight savage this episode, man. Straight savage. Like, you saw who Rock really was this episode. Like, a lot of shit got revealed. And Rock Rock is not a nice person. We got to be honest. We got to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. She ain't a nice person up in this bitch. And she goes and shoot the husband right in the fucking garage. And good riddance to him, too. He was a shitty character. He had it coming. And we all seen this coming in the last episode when she kind of alluded to it. But the way the wife is laughing and she says, gracias. I'm like, she cold-blooded for real. Like, they some savages. These women, man. I'm telling you, man. She was laughing, and then Rock told her, yo, act like he stole some shit. What you call it? Act like it was a robbery. Tell him some shovels was missing and shit. Or a New York accent and shit. Tell him some shovels was missing and shit. She says, gracias. I'm like, man, that's savagery. That's savagery at its finest. We see Howard and his partner in the trap spot. They're finding all the bodies that Kanan massacred in front of his small massacre pile. And they're like, yo, what's going on? And they're trying to figure out where it's going. Howard's trying to like, yo, let's just let it go. This is kind of like they did this to themselves. The lady, his partner's like, yo, this is murder. We got to find out what's going on. She wants to be the hero. Howard's trying to let it go. But they wind up going on a hunt to try to see what it is. She think Rock has something to do with it because she's green. Howard knows better. He like, nah, she wouldn't do this because obviously they don't want bodies popping up because that's bad for business. And, you know, Unique think it's that Rock's doing it as well to hinder his business when that's not neither the case. But this shows you the fuck up. This is what I was saying last episode, and a lot of people was defending Kanan. Kanan is lighting a fire, and everybody is having to suffer for his mistakes. And granted, I know he's 15, but if he's 15, Go to school. Focus on what the fuck you need to be focusing on. You want to be in a game so bad, but you just fucking everything up in your path. We see Marvin, Rock, and Lou at the table. The blue tops come up actually, and Marvin's trying to play it off like I don't know what's going on. Lulu and Marvin get into a little funny exchange. He's like, yeah, nigga. He was like, yo, how'd you figure out who was slinging him? Because Marvin tries to throw the trail off. He like, nigga, if you ain't had them headphones on your ears all the time, you will know what's going on in the streets too. So he tries to play it off. Rock actually questions Lou about his loyalty. And I thought that was a nice scene. I thought that was a nice, intense scene between the both of them, where he was like, yo, if I was in a grave, it still would be the same flag I'm waving. Like, she was like, yo, I can't believe you even said that out loud. And she was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I can't believe, why was she, like, out of all people, out of both her brothers, like, yo, Marvin's a fuck up, granted, but he's one of my favorite characters because he is who he is, man, and he's unapologetic about it. Yeah, he fucks up, but he tries to correct his mistake. If he fucks up, he'll try to correct it, and he's just funny as hell. I just like his sense of humor, but they both loyal to the soil to her. Like, I can't see neither one of them wavering or going to the other side, man. That's one thing about they love and they respect their sister, and I at some point too, I think they fear her a little bit. We see Howard and his partner interviewing that fiend, and man, that was some funny shit, man. They paying him the money. He was like, shit, Kojak, give me some more money, man. They wind up paying him, getting the information, and he's like, yo, he was saying he was claiming he was sober the whole time. They giving him money. He's like, man, now y'all done got me all aggravated and antsy, man. Now I gotta go get high. I was like, yo, that was hilarious. But they wind up telling who old boy was that sold that was giving away the testers. It was a dark skinned dude. I forget his name. I think he said BJ or some shit. I don't know. But he wind up snitching on him, telling on him, and they wind up going to pay dude a visit. We see Marvin and Kanan meet up because he has to tell Kanan that Rock kind of has a scent and what's going on. Kanan's like, yo, how the fuck does she always figure? And how does, like, it's crazy. Like, shit always come back to Rock, but that's the streets, man. You know, people talk, and especially if bodies dropping, you know that's going to get back to them because that's their business, and it's going to directly affect their business. So they scared as hell. They wondering, like, what the hell they going to do? He's asking Kanan, did he get rid of everything? He's like, nah. And it was something that made me wonder, like, Jukebox is going through all this with her friend. Does Marvin have any idea what she's going through? Because they didn't show not one time or one scene where he was consoling her or, like, giving her some advice or just like, yo, it's going to be all right. She was just kind of on her own this episode. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. They showed Jukebox go to the brownstone. And she breaks in their house to try to get in. She's waiting outside, and she had a whole different outfit on. So I don't know if that was a fuck up because I noticed that her clothes were different, and I'm like, when did she have time to go home or change? Because she had a completely different outfit on. Maybe it was in her book bag. Who knows? But Kanan had the same outfit on when he was talking to Marvin. So I don't know. I just think that was a fuck up. Also, when they show Rock at the lady's house, I'm like, so she came home, ate, and then went back to the lady's house. I'm like, okay, this is out of order chronologically. But it is what it is. You know, it's a TV show. It's going to be fucking bloopers and shit. But the lady's like still smiling. The Hispanic lady's still smiling when she's getting in the car. I'm like, yo, this bitch is cold-blooded, man. Like, she really cold-blooded. But Rock wanted to meet the Connect and get closer to him. This was her end. But she's playing it to it. Fucking, she's crying and being all emotional. I'm like, man, females, man. Females. They wind up him and old boy up in the strip club who the fiend snitched on. He winds up giving Kanan up immediately, man. Immediately. Like, no hesitation. And Howard figures that out. The partner, he's like, Kanan Stark, he's only 15. He's like, oh, it's the age limit to slinging. And Howard like, oh, shit. And he tells him, like, yo, you know who boy that is, man? That's Rock's boy. Like, that motherfucker is born into this shit. And the partner wants to go pick him up. And Howard obviously is going to protect him because that's her son. Howard actually pulls up on Rock. And he actually has a conversation with her and tells her, like, listen, Kanan has, like, 7 bodies on him right now from these testers. Like I buried it. I'm going to bury it. But I want to have a sit down with you and tell you, like, yo, I want to tell him, like, I'm his father. And we learned out a lot of things in that exchange. First of all, Rock lied about her age. She said she was 17. Howard was actually undercover, so she didn't know he was a cop. Because I was wondering, like, why the fuck is she fucking a cop and she in the drug game? But you got to think she was young at that time. She probably wasn't even in the drug game. She was hot in the pants and fucking with older dudes. And then we come out to find out the guy who was actually supposed to beat Kanan's father was actually gay. And Rock was just a cover up for that. So Howard's like, yo, he was a fairy the whole time. So yeah, Rock was out here busting it open, man, for one person at the time. It wasn't 2 people, but she was just a cover up. She got paid to cover it up. So yeah, we learned a little something right there. Lulu goes to visit Crown and pretty much takes over his business like strong arm style. And listen, I didn't see why Crown would have a problem with Lulu wanting 50% of everything when he's been paying and paying for everything. But he had an issue with that, and I just didn't understand that. Why you would even have an issue when this dude kind of just been saving you and keeping you afloat. But 50% is a lot of money. But I, like Lulu said, you ain't got no leverage, nigga. He put that toast out, intimidating him. And it was like, yo, something gonna be on this paper. I was like, yeah, Lulu, gangster. I thought that was a real gangster scene, man. I like Lulu a lot. Jukebox is sitting in the fucking room, playing the tape, crying her eyes out. And man, I ain't gonna lie, I almost teared up a little bit on this. Nah, I ain't almost teared. I'm a fucking gangster. No, but this was it was a sad scene, man. It was really like, damn, like we finally seen her break down. This was we was waiting for, or everybody wanted to see. And I'm glad they didn't just gloss or glaze over like her dying and being like, yo, like she's sad, and then all of a sudden she back to normal. I'm glad she like kind of just, it was a whole episode of her just mourning and shit. And we're going to see a turn. If you see the preview for next episode, we're about to see a turn with Jukebox. And maybe this is how she gets to law enforcement. I don't know. But we about to definitely see a turn. I don't know if she's going to turn on the family. Maybe she's going to figure out, like, all this shit's fucked up. You know what I mean? As a result of her loss. But when she was standing there watching that TV and crying, oh, boy. Took a lot of me not to just be like, I had to walk away for a minute. I really had to take a bathroom break. That was sad shit. That was some real sad shit, man. What else we got here? Oh, Rock confronts Kanan. That was some good acting right there, too. She confronts him about the blue tops. Kanan doesn't even take responsible or accountability for his action. I can't talk. He don't even man up for his actions. He blames this shit on his mom and say, listen, you can't blame me or Marvin. It's you, the reason that we're like this. And I was like, oh, what's she about to do? And she hauled off so far and smacked the shit out that boy that he fell on the floor. I said, oh, that's what the hell you deserve. Listen, I don't even know how he even is talking to his mom like this. Back in my day, if I even would have said, I couldn't even say a word when my parents was talking or my grandparents was talking. You just had to beat her like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You said anything? Well, bop. Don't talk back. This nigga was, well, this is the, I'm like, oh, man, I'm surprised she didn't get the hammer out and clap dude, man. Or turn the handle and just hitting with the pistol or something. Because, nigga, you just massacred fiends. You massacred a mountain of fiends. Like, massacred them. And you acting like you didn't do nothing. Like, this dude is, like, delusional or something, man. Like, dude is really delusional. Hold on, I gotta turn my lights on, man. It's looking, like, blue in here. Hold on, these fucking hue lights get on my nerve. Yeah, you just massacred a small colony of fiends, and you got the nerve to be blaming your mom, nigga. Like, that's why she tried to keep your knuckleheaded ass out the game, and you want to constantly be in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck is wrong with you, man? We see a scene where Lulu follows Unique to his. I'm guessing he has a he's living in a hotel or a building or something like that, and Lulu follows him, winds up getting the keys, and he winds up stealing his jacket. Nothing is ever brought about of that situation. I could be mistaken. I don't know if I stepped away for something. Tell me in the comments what that was, because was it to show that like he could be got, or is like a play? I don't know. I thought that was going to manifest into something later on. It really didn't. We see Rock confront Marvin again. He's working in the housing projects, and she comes up on him. I'm like, oh, this ain't about to be good. I thought she was just gonna have a little talk with him. She tipped this nigga with a fucking 4x4 when he was turned around. Yo, Rock gets MVP of this episode. Hands down. Rock is the MVP of this episode. Yo, imagine turning around and then all of a sudden you get hit by the 4x4. Like, what the fuck, nigga? She just smacked Kanan down on the ground. And she just hit this nigga. I'm sorry. That shit was hilarious, man. I'm watching it now, too. That shit was funny as hell, dude. But she told Marvin, I don't ever want to see you again. And you have to meet Lulu and give him all your work you got. She told him she don't want to see him no more. And we learned that Marvin was Marvin was a crackhead at one point. So that's why they don't really, it makes sense is why they don't trust him or give him responsibility. She tells Kanan, like, before he did some time, we also learned he did time. And when the police came and got him, he was high. So maybe that's why he didn't get as many years. Maybe told him he was using. But she said he tried to sell something to the police, a key or a brick or some shit. I don't know. I forgot what she said. But then she cuts him out again. And then I'm thinking like, oh, he about to go down the downward spiral. He probably going to start using again. Or I'm like, maybe he going to go to Unique or something. I don't know. Neither happens. Thank God. But that was a very emotional scene. And that was like a fucking power. That was one of those power writer's room scenes. Those was one of those moments where you was like, okay, this is power. Like, cause it's certain things that power do, and it's just like, okay, that was cheesy. That was stupid. Like, yeah, her real reaction wouldn't have been that. Like, I don't want to ever see you again. Like, Marvin didn't do nothing. He didn't cook the shit up. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, obviously he was in business with Kanan, but I don't think her reaction in real life would have been that. But, you know, there's power gets soap opera-y sometimes. This was one of those moments. Laverne is just, I don't know if she thought she was living. Sorry, I don't know if she thought she was moving in Nicole's room, but she been there all day, just hanging out, having a good time, reminiscing. I don't know. Maybe she thought she was home, but the parents wind up coming home. They wind up getting her locked up. The mom is being super fucking mommy and getting on my damn nerves. And she gives the vial the jukebox, and I'm like, okay, I knew this was another power soap opera remote. I knew the vial was gonna get back to jukebox, and she was gonna figure out how she died. I'm like, okay, I see what they doing. This is super predictable. But the father sees the pain in Laverne's eyes, and he's kind of like he feels for her, because I think he really knows like jukebox cared for his daughter, but the mom is just a fucking ignorant, arrogant pig. I can't stand that lady, man. And she gets her arrested, and they wind up kicking her because Howard called in a favor, I believe. So they wind up kicking her out. Also in exchange, what I glazed over, Rock tells Kanan that she killed D Nice. On top of we finding out about Marvin, she killed him and telling she killed D Wiz. I don't know why I said D Nice. That's the DJ. D Wiz. He finds that out. He walks out. He runs away, and then he tries to go to old girl house who snitched on him, Davina, and come to find out CPS got them. So they're out of here. They're gone. So he's fucked up about that. But hey, that might have been the best for them. They was in a fucked up situation. We see Lulu and old girl get into it, the famous sister, and she's annoying, dude. Like he needs to just get rid of her. She's an opportunist. She not really for Lulu. It seems like she's just an opportunist. At first, I was digging her. I ain't really fucking with her like that though. Marvin decides to take his frustrations out on the club and is popping the white girl. Forget her name. I think they said I forget her name. It don't matter. This bitch got a wire, not on like a camera under a wire, and is trying to get Marvin set up. And luckily, he wasn't dumb enough to say what it was, cause she was so fucking obvious. I thought he was gonna be like, "Nigga, is you trying to set me up or some shit?" He didn't pick up on it, but it's good he ain't say nothing. Glad Symphony was at the bar. We'll see if Symphony says something and know if he's really down with Rock or not. I got a feeling about Symphony. I don't know. He might be a cop or something. Who knows? But we'll figure out. This is gonna be a telltale sign. If he says something to Rock, then obviously he's down with her. If he doesn't, we know something else is up. But she must have got jammed up somehow, and now she must have flipped and be like, "Well, I could get you these people, yada yada," and tries to get Marvin. And she's getting fucked over the desk, and then she still tries to say, she's like, "Just say what you want. Just tell me what you want. I'll give it to you. Just say what the money's for." I'm like. He like, man, you fucking crazy. Like Marvin be having an intuition without having an intuition. Like he be knowing some shit, but he don't really be knowing some shit. But luckily he got the fuck up on out of there, man. Rock has a meeting with the new Connect. And this dude is super cautious. He been following her, seeing that she's fucking with Howard. Guns get pulled out. Thankfully nothing happens because Rock don't buckle under pressure. She tells him that Howard's in her pocket. He like, "Well, I need proof of that." She like, "All right, I'm gonna get it for you." That scene got tense. I'm like, "Oh, it's about to go down." They had to drop on her, man. Her dudes ain't even get to pull nothing out. It was just like, first I thought, when I first watched it, I thought they all had pulled their shit out. They ain't even get this chance to pull shit out. She was just like, "Yo, I got you. Like, that's all you need. So we gotta figure out something. Maybe she gonna kill Howard. I don't know." So I don't know how she gonna pull this off. We see Unique had rounded up the troops from upstate. They got Molotov cocktails, and they got fucking some heavy artillery, man. They about to go shoot something up. What we don't know is what they gonna shoot up. So I'm thinking they gonna go shoot a Rock house because everybody know where Rock live. That's like the famous spot to go to. But no, they don't. Oh, before we get into that though, Jukebox goes to see Kanan about the tops. And I thought she was going to be pissed off about it. Even if she was, she didn't display it. She just was like, "Yo, it's not neither one of our fault." You know, Kanan, I think he knew. You know what I'm saying? He played it like he didn't. He's like, "I don't even know what to say." But what can you say, dude? Like, they all responsible for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Kanan, Jukebox, they all responsible. Mainly Kanan, though, man. Kanan killed mad people behind this shit. Being Chef Borat K. But she was just like, "Man, it's just the shit we was raised into, man. It's just Queens, man." And she was like, "That's not what the song said," because he said something like, "Queens keeps on taking it." She was like, "That ain't the song." He's like, "Man, fuck the song." They both at a point where they tired of the shit, man. He lost D-Wiz. She lost Nicole. All behind this drug game and shit. And this is harsh realities they're facing at young ages, 15, 16, however old they are. And there's a lot to deal with as a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? That was somebody that truly, genuinely cared about her. She truly, genuinely cared about this girl. And to see her die as a result of something that you had a hand in, like, you know what I mean? Like, you never would have got that shit from Kanan. She might still be alive. Granted, it wasn't right for her to go in your backpack, but it just sucks, man. It's a hard pill to swallow. So I don't know. Next episode, man, something gonna wind up happening with Juke. I don't know what it's gonna be. But yeah, that was a nice scene between those two to kind of just see what was going on. He was waiting for her at the crib and shit. We see Lulu in the crib reflecting, man, and I think it seemed like Lulu just, I don't know if he's done with the business or he's just tired of being at the beck and call. You know, Rock calls him and is like, "Yo, batter up." And who does she want batter? Like, who does she want knocked off? That's what I want to know. Like, who she talking about batter up? Who she want knocked off? Did she want Howard knocked off? I know because killing a cop, that's crazy. Even back then, like, you couldn't get away with that shit. That shit had consequences, man. They'll fucking fuck you up for that. The cops got killed back in the early. I remember that, man. Watch Brian Glaze Good's page on YouTube, man. He was part of the Fat Cat crew and shit. And I think somebody put a hit out on an officer that got killed in Queens or some shit back then. And that shit was crazy. But anyway, so Lulu like, man, I'm off tonight. He's sitting there drinking, and then it comes we see playing the music and we realize his house is the target. And I'm like, how the fuck they know where this nigga live at? Like, it's crazy. They all got beef with each other, but they all know where each other live at. Like, how does he know that? So they throw the Molotov to the crib and then shoot up the crib. That's an old school trick. I know somebody that did some years for doing some shit like that. He burnt somebody's house up and then was shooting the shit as they were trying to come out. And the only reason he got caught is because he came back around when the fire shit was there and motherfuckers pointing him out. Like, nigga, it was just him right there. And he came back around to check it out and shit. I said, this nigga. Anyway, we see the house burning up. Listen, it's not looking good for Lulu, man. It's smoking fire everywhere. He reaching to get his pistol, trying to get some shots off. They shooting the shit out this nigga house. I'm like, oh. Next day, we see Marvin, and I'm like, I get happy. I get a smile on my face, like, yeah, Marvin. And I'm like, okay, he about to run these niggas over. Then I'm like, oh, shit, they probably gonna shoot this nigga up, too, and shit. And we see him. He winds up crashing, and I'm thinking he got hit. I'm like, oh, he must have got shot. And this nigga got on this side, too, because he always getting shot through. His windshield always getting shot through, and he got no bullets. He always getting unfazed. But he winds up getting out the car, going in the house, and he does the big brotherly thing and he saves his little brother. And it was a split second where I thought some power shit was gonna come and I thought he was gonna get in his mind like, you know what? Fuck this nigga. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, that's why I fucks with Marvin. He's about his family, man. He's a family dude. Loyal to the soil. He sees his brother Lulu there, fucking grabs him, picks him up, brings him outside. And this is some of the this actor was cheesy. He's help, somebody help. I'm like, nigga, don't you got a cell phone? Call a fucking ambulance or something. But you hear him coming in the distance. But this nigga don't know the Heimlich. He don't know how to do CPR. He just like, help, somebody help. I don't think Lulu's gonna die. I think he was just probably knocked out from the smoke. If they do kill him, I'll be very surprised. But I don't think he's gonna die. But we'll see what happens, man. Post your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If there's anything I left out, leave it in the comments below. Do you think Lulu's going to die? Let me know. Till next time, peace, love, and prosperity. I'm the Black Abstract One.